Hey. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sandbox Wednesday stream. I am Alex Florez, aka Kamisasi, joined here by the lovely PandaPops.
That's me. Hello, people.
Panda is kind enough to fill in last minute because I forgot. Lucas told me I had like plenty of notice that Lucas wasn't going to be here today. He had some personal stuff to take care of, and I forgot that was today. So no Lucas today. He'll be back for our stream on Saturday, which brings us to our first announcement. We're gonna have a special guest on Saturday. I don't know if this means anything to anybody watching. It means a lot to me. We're gonna be having John Heder, aka Napoleon Dynamite, on Saturday's stream. He is actually working with Lucas's studio to make. Yes, vote for Pedro. He's Lucas's studio, Voxel Ocean, along with Verified Labs, has been working on building the Tygonia experience, which is releasing tomorrow on the sandbox.game/events page. I almost said play, but that's not where it is anymore. So Tygonia is a really big experience with a lot of stuff to do. Some really cool artwork. We've been helping the Voxel Ocean team with playtesting and feedback at the council, and yeah, John Heder is the mastermind behind this. He's got a NFT collection of these well, his quite famous drawings. Um, we got stuff like this, and I'm getting that awful mic buzzy
Yeah, I was
feedback that
gonna
I
say
get sometimes.
I can just hear it now. Maybe it'll go away. Slap the mic.
And it's sometimes bear with me just a second. Sometimes if I restart my beacon software, it fixes it.
So
One
while
second.
he restarts that, I will just say, everybody get hype for Saturday. Get hype. Who else be here for that stream? Because it's gonna be really cool. Because Napoleon Dynamite stuff, but also to as Alex said at the council, we have been playtesting it. So excited for you guys to play, and yeah, the artwork.
The artwork is a thing, and I'm still getting that buzz, aren't I?
Yeah.
I don't know why it does this. It does it every once in a while, and sometimes just turning some things off and then back on again in the settings seems to fix it, and it's really weird. Okay, maybe. Nope. Hopefully we can get this sorted before Saturday. Or, before the stream continues on just now.
Yeah. I mean, it's not too bad.
It is all the hype messing with the electronics. Oh, yep.
Yeah.
Now it's gone.
Oh,
now it's gone.
yeah.
I just have to mess around with the Beacon app, and something in there seems to make it go away. I don't know why it starts in the first place, because it only does it like once every couple weeks, and it's really bizarre.
Well,
Anyway,
now you know you're sorted for Saturday. If it does it once every couple of weeks, you should be safe.
It should be. Oh, except
it's
now
back.
it's coming back. What the Oh, is it gone? It's okay. I need the beacon window up for it to not show up. It's so weird.
Odd.
It's really weird. I don't understand it, but it's gone now. And all right. It may be fine to the audience, but what I hear is every single time I say a word, I hear right in my ears, and it's really loud and really distracting.
I hear it. I hear it too.
Yeah. February rewards just got distributed. Yeah, the team's been working really hard to distribute rewards. There's been a bunch of issues in the past, which the as much as everybody has been frustrated, like the staff's been working really hard to try to fix those frustrations. So, yeah. Hopefully everybody's getting their rewards sorted out now. Anyway, back to Tygonia. So John Heder has these what are they're tiger? I don't know what they are. We'll have to
Ligers?
Well, they're kind of like ligers, but they're like tiger things. They're Tigons, so they're like
that's it, Tigons.
Tiger lions, I think is what they would be.
Yeah,
I think that makes sense. They're Tigons. Yeah. So yeah, he's got this NFT collection. You see it in the background of this photo here. And this is what the characters are for this experience. So we're not going to talk about it too much today, because you will get to see it all tomorrow when you play it yourself. And we are going to be playing it live on stream on Saturday with John Heder, with some of the Voxel Ocean team. Obviously, Lucas is in charge of Voxel Ocean. He's here almost every stream, not including today. But he will be there, and we're going to be interviewing some people from his team as well as John Heder to talk about the creation of this project and what they're looking forward to doing with it in the future. Because what releases tomorrow is not even the end of that story. It's going to keep on being worked on and improved and expanded. And what we're really looking forward to with 0.8, I think I'm allowed to spill these beans. I think
do it anyway. Don't worry about it.
We're gonna do. It's supposed to be voiced, but John Heder's going to be doing voice acting for this. So his, cool. I'm sure some familiar Napoleon Dynamite vibes will be felt. I don't know exactly what the voices will sound like, but John Heder's definitely got a distinct sound quality to his voice. He's going to be voicing the characters in this game, which was 0.8. We should start being able to see that in action. who knows, this may be the first fully voice acted Sandbox experience. Don't quote me on that. It may or may not be the first. We'll see how that plays out. But they're definitely planning for that, and I'm excited for it. So make sure to tune in Saturday, uh, 2 p.m. Eastern time, which is what, 7 p.m. UTC,
I
maybe.
believe it is. I believe it is 7 p.m.
Okay.
UTC because it's 8. It'll be 8 p.m. my time, and we have gone forward an hour.
Okay. So tune in for that. I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Napoleon Dynamite was a very formative uh, movie experience for me and my friends when I was in high school. And it's been, did we determine it's been 20 years, or it will have been, it's 2004, I think, is when it came out. So next year it'll be 20 years of Napoleon Dynamite. Panda's feeling very old right now. Uh,
You just keep saying it. You said it earlier. We're on about different films and stuff, and you said it earlier to me, and I wanted to cry, and now I just want to cry again.
all
But
right. So on to other news. We've got a new
yes.
game jam announced.
And I will link that Medium article.
So okay. Sorry to see you go, Tum4Y1. I'm not when it comes to multi-account stuff, I'm not sure what recourses there are. I don't, Panda, do you have any suggestions?
I find it hard to believe that making an additional account for their mum would have caused an issue.
Yeah.
If we're playing multiple accounts on one PC, as in like 10 different accounts that were KYC'd, you may find an issue there. But if you can open up a ticket and they'll on Discord and they can try and help you with that. But we generally don't flag people that have 2 or 3 people in the same house playing because we understand not everybody has multiple PCs to play from.
Yeah. And certainly, like, having multiple accounts is not a problem. It's having multiple KYC accounts that can cause issues. Most of the people on staff, well, I shouldn't say most. Most of the people I interact with on staff, and myself included, have a whole bunch of accounts for testing purposes, working as like a studio with multiple. You may have an account for working on one project and another account for working on another project, depending on what kind of account sharing you're doing with the other people in that project. And we get that. So it really has to do with the KYC and making sure that KYC is one per person, because it's like having a driver's license or a passport. It's like you're really supposed to have just one account that way, and that's what keeps it fair for everybody. I'm getting that buzzing again. What is going on? Why don't you go away? Leave me
Silly
be.
buzzing.
Did it stop? No, it's
Oh, it's still there.
it's still there. No, and now it's gone. And I'm not actually changing anything. All I'm doing is clicking between different settings tabs when it goes away. So I really don't know what's doing it. It drives me bonkers. Anyway, multiplayer parkour game jam. That link is going into the chat if it didn't already.
Link it again though.
Okay. So game jams are back. Get ready to jump, run, and slide your way to victory in the ultimate multiplayer parkour game jam. Whether you're aimed for a fast-paced, competitive experience or a more relaxed, exploratory adventure, the possibilities are endless. This is your chance to showcase your skills and creativity in a thrilling competition that will test your speed, agility, and strategy. So, rewards, it's a 50,000 sand prize pool, with first place getting 10,000 sand and the potential to be onboarded to the Game Maker Fund. Second place is 6,000 sand. Third place is 3,500 sand. And fourth to 10th place is 1,500 sand each. There are also additional prizes. Best idea, top 5 participants with the best overall idea grade each get 1,000 sand. Best design, top 5 participants with the best average between game design and level design grade each get 1,000 sand. and Participations Award, limited to the first 100 participants that didn't place in the top 10 and that respect the entry guidelines and completed the submission steps correctly, each get 100 sand. So no 3 wolves on a default template allowed.
Yeah, I like how we've made that super idiot proof. Like, nobody could be like, I submitted. It's
right.
like, no. You
This
had to
needs
meet the guidelines.
It needs to be a legit game.
Yeah.
Maxi says decent rewards for all. Yeah, we're really trying to reward creators, whether they're able to place in the top 10 or not, because everybody who's participating legitimately is putting in a lot of hard work, and helping grow the excitement for the platform. So yeah, we wanted to reward all those, but have to point out you can't just spam bot 50 or 100 different submissions from different accounts and expect to get 100 sand for each of those. That's not going to fly. So first 100 participants that are eligible based on all the guidelines and rules and submit correctly, who don't make it into the top 10. And yeah, we do experience sometimes these best ideas or best design. These are different grading criteria that we have for the judges. Sometimes people who might place in the top 5 based on their idea, they have a really good idea. Maybe their game design's not quite solid enough. The mechanics don't work correctly, but it's a really cool idea. They may get in the top 5 for the idea and not make it into the top 10. So we could see these 1,000 sand prizes distributed in the top 10. It might be outside of the top 10. We'll see how it goes. So it's exciting. It's a lot of stuff going on there. Danimal Cilantro. That's a great name. Danimal Cilantro says, "Wow, I really want to dip my toes in Game Maker now. Do it. Do it. That's I mean, if you're able to make a project that's interesting, or I mean, okay, yes, please make it interesting for the sake of the judges. Please make it interesting.
No, make it boring. Now I just want to see a boring game. That's what I want to see. Make me a boring game. I want to be super bored. Can we have that on
get a game that makes Panda fall asleep? She needs a nap.
Yeah, please. Yeah, that's too.
Anyway, try to make it interesting. Don't listen to Panda. But definitely follow the rules. But if you're in that first 100 submissions, that's pretty much a guaranteed 100 sand there, as long as you're doing a valid entry. So there are some important dates. The jam began on the 17th, which was just 2 days ago. The deadline to complete and submit your entry is May 7th at 3 p.m. UTC. So you've got over 2 weeks. You've got 2.5 weeks about to make a game. So definitely lots of time to learn. And when we're done talking about this, we're gonna explore around a little bit what we can do in the Game Maker. Submissions, gathering, and voting will take place from May 8th till May 21st. Results will be announced on May 27th. So us at the council and the rest of staff, VPire, who's our person in charge of all the Game Jam stuff now, we're really focusing on making sure that we stick to these deadlines, and that everybody can expect a quick turnaround on this. So we plan to hold to these dates.
But we do state that please do wait roughly a week to 3 weeks for those prizes to be sent out, just because we've got to make sure to go through all the proper legal channels for sending out those prizes. But we obviously do aim to have those results announced on time, and for you not to be waiting more than 3 weeks for those prizes to go out.
Right. Important entry guidelines. Your entry must be designed in the Game Maker software. It must be made in Game Maker version 0.8.2. Your entry can include assets you've created yourself.
I'm frozen in the most awful way.
Oh, you pulled a Lucas. Oh, you're frozen on Discord too.
What happened? Then it's my no, it's my camera issue, and I just need to do this.
I'm like, it's
And I'm
usually
back.
there you go. Usually when that happens, it's Lucas is still running on Discord, and just something
Yeah.
between Discord and OBS makes it frozen. But yeah,
No,
that wasn't my
my
fault.
yeah, no. That was 100% my camera's fault. Just decided to be like, now we freeze.
Now is the time.
Yeah.
Um, all right, so your entry can include assets you've created yourself. Your entry must have some playability, quests, missions, you name it. I will point out that quests, as we know them from the rules button up here in the Game Maker, do not necessarily work in multiplayer, or at least not the way that you'd expect them to work. So I would recommend that you use the crowd events, which is like multiplayer quests, kind of. So it doesn't show up on a screen quite the same way as rules before, but we'll go over this in a little bit, and we'll show how to put together some multiplayer events, because this is specifically multiplayer parkour. You're trying to make social hubs where people can compete against each other in the parkour matches. Your entry must be unique and not a direct copy of any existing experiences. Similarities are fine, exact copies are not. So, if somebody makes a volcano and somebody else makes a volcano, that doesn't disqualify you, but don't go like looking up their game and making it exactly the same. Spamming the gallery with a number of low quality experiences just to try and fit into the 4th to 10th places may result in all your entries being disqualified. I would even say this stronger: will result in all your entries being disqualified.
Yeah. There's no
It's
may about it.
yeah,
You ain't
it's
getting
pretty
through.
obvious. Pretty obvious when it happens. Not completing the submission steps correctly, see below, may result in your entry being ineligible. And this isn't just because we want to be mean, and we do have to have established rules, especially for such big prizes. But also, sometimes we're not able to judge games if they're not submitted correctly. We've had entries where the game could not be found on the gallery. We couldn't play it, and there was no video of the gameplay. So we had an entry with a name, and we were just totally unable to judge based on anything. So following the steps is important. The judging will be done by the Sandbox's staff. Yes, as well as probably some members of the council, who some of us are Sandbox staff, some of us are not. What makes an entry valid? Game length should be at least 5 minutes, excluding timed collection quests. So just like from whatever your start of the game is to the end of the game, people should be able to run around for at least 5 minutes. Use at least 25 different assets. So, make it interesting. Follow the storyline or theme. In this case, the theme is parkour, which is pretty open-ended. You could make this medieval, you could make it sci-fi, you could make it horror, you could make it comedic. You can do pretty much whatever you want with this theme. It's just that you should have players jumping around and climbing on things.
Roxy McGill on Twitch says, not 25 wolves. I will say, yes, if all 25 wolves are different wolves,
Yeah,
go
that's what I was.
for it.
If you've got 25 unique wolves and they're used in a creative way to make a parkour game, sure. And the Sandbox staff members have the right to remove any entry as they see fit. That's just, we don't make it a habit of being jerks, but if there's something like offensive or inappropriate for the
Copyright.
platform,
Yeah.
blatant copyright, yeah, don't make Super Mario Brothers. Like, yeah, you could argue that Super Mario Brothers is kind of like a parkour. It predates parkour, but it's kind of a parkour style platforming game. But don't make that. Make your own game. Make your own unique thing. Don't be copying assets.
Make Super Italian Plumber Guy.
You probably want to make something a little more unique than that. Probably. All right, then there's just the regular submission little tutorial thing. And warning, if you submit your entry to the Game Jam gallery but do not submit it to the form linked above, your entry will not be eligible. Slow down and check everything. It's a pretty simple form to fill out, but you do need to fill out all the steps, because this is how we get a list of what to judge. And if you don't fill this out, then we won't know to look for your game. So you got to do both. You got to publish it to the share it to the gallery, and submit the form with all the needed stuff filled out. And there's links that kind of explain best practices and what to do. Who can join the Game Jam? Anyone who is eligible to create an account at the Sandbox can enter the Game Jam. No, you cannot use other people's assets unless you've purchased them or claimed them through or gotten them through an airdrop. It needs to be an NFT that you own, one of the default assets in the Sandbox, or assets that you have made. You can't. The wish listing process is different than it used to be, so it's a little more difficult to get other people's assets into your game. So just kind of skip that part. But if you've previously wish listed items, they may still show up in your inventory. So just be aware of that. Actually, if you go to your library and you click on the assets, you can see who made them. So like I click on this birthday cake. That's by Lululand World. I believe this is an NFT that I own. There's no wish list.
Roxy Miguel is asking, can I give permission to another person to use my assets? I personally believe that should be technically a no, because then we're going to have people say, well, that person gave me permission to use that. And we can't really run up to check these things. So it's just easier for us to say, no, you either use ones that you purchased, ones that you've created, or the Sandbox ones. And I've noticed on here it says like created by TSB account 1 and Sandbox Game. There are also very few, but a couple that say the Sandbox Game on them. So any that say TSB account, the Sandbox Game, or Sandbox Game are ones that you can use. But I'm gonna say it should be a no for giving permission.
I would like to say yes, but it makes things a lot more complicated when it comes time for the reviews, because part of the review process to check for eligibility on these games is checking the asset ownership, because we did have a problem in the past where people were using assets made by other people without their permission, which is a fine feature for testing purposes. You want to try before you buy an asset. But you don't want to be publishing a game with assets that you don't own. So this was somebody who didn't even realize that their assets were publicly available for others to try out, and they saw their assets in a Game Jam game and were kind of freaked out because they didn't intend for them to be used that way. So that's why we established that rule. And if we part of our process for checking these games is to look at the list of assets that are in the game and see who owns them. And so usually I do that part, and I look for how many of the assets are Sandbox Game or TSB Game Account 1 or whatever it's called. And those are the basic assets that come with the Game Maker. Then I look to see how many were created by the person who created the experience, and obviously those should all be fine. But then if I see any other assets, I have to then go and check their wallet to see if they own these assets. And if they don't own them, that means that they probably wishlisted them. And that could be a disqualifying thing. And sometimes I'll follow up on that. Like if it's not really clear, I will contact those people. But the more times stuff like that happens, the longer the judging process becomes, and it can become very complicated.
I'd say Roxy Miguel also brings up a good point that technically it says using assets created by another user without permission will result in it being disqualified. I think we do need to have that reworded to not even include that. Like, you cannot use assets that you haven't created or purchased, and we just remove that section.
It does, yeah, it does say without permission.
Yeah, so it should just be using assets created by another person will result in your experience being disqualified instead. So I'll have a word with the person who deals with the Medium articles, as well as a word with VPire about making sure that is communicated to everyone. But
Yeah.
yeah, it has been a thing for a little while now where we have definitely discouraged people from using assets created by other people and not to do it. What's the point of buying an asset if you can't use it? You can use assets that you buy, Hoddle. You're fully allowed to use, like, you can use assets that you've created or purchased. You cannot use assets that you've wish listed, so ones that you don't own you can't use.
Yeah.
But you yeah.
This is just saying like don't use items that you've wish listed, basically.
So uh G Wiz is saying, like, why can't we just have a permission form for it's currently right now, maybe in the future we'll look at changing these things, but currently right now it's too much work for us to check this level of stuff. Um I mean, if you're working in a team, then obviously that team member will upload or give you those assets to use. I'm assuming when we have that shared workspaces section, that will make it easier as well for people
Definitely.
to collaborate and for us to know, okay, these people are on these teams. We have the list of people who are meant to be working on the teams. So and Alex, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm assuming you look at if they have created,
Yeah,
if
I was
other
going to
team
point that out
members.
specifically in the past, specifically King of Crypto with their goblin related games. It is goblins, right? Or is it trolls?
Yeah,
I think it's goblins.
goblins, yeah.
Yeah. They had a bunch of like community goblins, which were kind of like avatars of people who participated in the creation of that game because it was a team built game. And I could see that the other people on their team were the accounts who had like created their own goblin avatars. So it was pretty obvious that it was a team and that they had all contributed to the creation of that game, including making their own avatars that were on their own account. So uh, that's why we do ask in that form like who the team members are. So we are able to tell that part as well. You count as one of the creators. So when I'm checking that list of assets to see who made what, um, all the contributors should show up in that list. There are a couple other questions that came up. Danimal Cilantro asks, it doesn't count towards your 25 created assets. The 25 assets is not created. You don't have to create the 25 assets. It means that in your game there needs to be 25 unique assets. So we use the meme 3 wolves on a default template, or sometimes people say 4 wolves on a default template. I don't remember how many wolves there were. But that was it.
Wolves
It
on
was
the
literally
default
like a
template.
flat land with a couple wolves, and there was nothing else on it. So that's why we say you need at least 25 different assets. They can be doors, they can be platforms, they can be trees, they can be NPCs, they can be whatever, but there needs to be at least 25 of them, and they don't have to be. You don't have to create any unique assets. You don't have to create a single unique asset to build a game. That's Some people are not artists, right? Some people like building games. They like telling stories, and building voxel art is just kind of not their thing. That's fine. This is a game jam, not a VoxEdit contest. So you do not need to build any assets if you don't want to. There was another question. Do I need land to participate? Asks
Blue
somebody.
tulip.
Blue
Yep.
Tulip. I lost the comment. You do not need anything except a Sandbox account. So you need to be able to create an account in order to log into the Game Maker, create your game, and share it to the gallery. But that's all you need. You don't need to own any sand. You don't need to own any land. You don't need to own any assets. This is a totally free to enter thing. The price is your time and your imagination to
Uh,
create.
and Roxy Miguel says the article says maximum of 4 members per team is allowed. In the form, it says 3. It's 3 plus you. So
Yeah.
3 additional team members, with you being the lead, being the 4th team member, or number 1 with
Yeah.
3 additional. However
Your
you want.
your information goes in a different part of that form. So,
Yeah.
uh, like you put in your email, your username, assuming you're the creative lead, and then team usernames. So that max 3, that's the 3 other people on your team. All right. We have now listed the judging criteria. I don't think we listed this before.
I think it may have been on there, but I could be wrong, as I apparently have often been wrong in my life occasionally.
The entries are judged on a 20-point scale divided into the following categories. Overall creative idea is 5 points. Is the idea unique and engaging? Level design, 5 points. Is it easy to find its way inside the game? Is the terraforming visually appealing, coherent with the game? Is the progression curve challenging? So, did you design an interesting and appealing game? Um, Game design, 5 points. Does the game have interesting mechanics? Is the logic well designed so it's fun to play? So the bullet points kind of make it clear, but I'll just emphasize level design and game design are two separate things. So game design is specifically like your game logic. Did you make a door that has a key that unlocks it? Did you have to do some sort of task to get the key? Does it work every single time you test it, or are you able to break that mechanic in some way? So game design is about the logic of your game, whereas level design is about the shape of your game. How do you get from point A to point B? Is it fun to get from point A to point B? Is it challenging in a fun way to get from point A to point B? Does it make you want to rip out your hair getting from point A to point B? Is it impossible to get from point A to point B? Hopefully you understand the distinction between those. So level design is a separate category from game design, because they're separate aspects of how a game works, and both are important to judge on. Playability. Does the game work properly from start to end? Does the player experience bugs? This kind of playability kind of is an overarching. It does game design and level design are both impact the playability. But playability can also go into just like how fun it is too. So playability is kind of a catch-all, but we judge it distinctly. They're kind of tied together, but they are separate criteria. And then bonus points, wow factor, is outstanding assets and artistic direction, unique features, outstanding atmosphere and immersion. So, like when I played that horror game a few streams ago, where it was like all dark and you had the flashlights and the ghosts were chasing you, and I actually screamed on stream at one point, which is not in character for me. That had a lot of wow factor. That had a lot of immersion and a lot of atmosphere. Unique features, mechanics we haven't seen before. We've seen wow factor points added for things like well, honestly, sometimes things that don't quite make it if your game ends up in a season. Sometimes things like gliders and cannons and stuff like that. Those are like really cool features. Those impress us in a game jam. It shows your ability to think creatively and think outside the box of like what the sandbox is. Think outside of the sandbox. But those features don't always work on a larger scale. So playability, those features might fail sometimes, or like an update to the game maker might make them break. So they might reduce playability, but they might give you bonus points in the wow factor because it's just like, oh, that's really cool the way they did that. I like that. And then art direction and assets. People who do a lot of custom artwork for their games tend to get more bonus points for that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Danimal Cilantro also asks, I made a Care Bear in VoxEdit. Can I use him if I remove the obvious Care Bear features? So a bear? You can use a bear if it looks...
You can even use a pastel bear.
Yeah. I mean, if I look at it and my first thought is Care Bear, or it's got a little pattern on its tummy, like a ray of sunshine, I'm gonna say no. You're gonna have to make it look enough not like a Care Bear. But if you're... Yeah, I don't see why not, because that's just a bear. That's just a colourful bear, my friend. If you've made a colourful bear, you can use your colourful bear.
G-Wiz asks, would you call Rockfall a parkour or jump puzzle? And is that a distinction to consider in this contest? Is Rockfall the one that Tempest Studios made way back in the day? That one, I felt like you were going down underground. Or are you mentioning a different kind of game? Like a game that's not from the sandbox? Because there was a game, I think it was called Rockfall, that was done for one of the first game jams, maybe the second or third game jam, where there was like meteors falling from the sky.
That sounds beautiful.
It was Blaze Games. Last hardest part was the jump puzzle with the lava. Um, so
Oh,
I think
yeah.
that is the game that I'm thinking of. So jump puzzles and parkour are kind of interchangeable as far as I'm concerned. We're just talking about games that require platforming. They're platforming games. Um, the thing is, when you think about the sandbox uh, as a game engine, like they're kind of all platform games unless you do something very specific that prevents the player from jumping. Um, so most games that people make in the sandbox have some platforming aspects to them. Um, so when we say parkour, we're talking about kind of taking that to the extreme. We're talking about floating platforms, ladders that you have to climb up. Now we have sliding, so you can add slides to areas as well. So there's not really a distinction between platform games and parkour. We just like saying parkour because when people hear platform games, they oftentimes think like 2D Mario kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so we just call them parkour games here. That's just the way that what we've come to call them. Um, also, because this is multiplayer, specifically, the parkour is kind of a race. So you're putting players against each other where they have an objective to get to at the same time. So um, that's kind of the goal here. Um, all right, that is the whole article. I was gonna potentially do some examples in this space that I had already worked on, but this was all set up for single player, so I'm actually gonna make a new one in multiplayer.
Oh,
I
and then can we
haven't.
all play it at the end?
Well,
Mm.
we've only got about technically 10 minutes left, but
Oh gosh, well then I better drop this Wizzy form.
oh yeah, the
Where we
hour
spend
hour goes
ages,
by
yeah.
real fast. We
Oh
started a little
yeah.
bit late too. Um,
There's a Wizzy form there, guys. Get your Wizzy purples enhanced
Actually,
tags.
you know what?
Wizzy.
I'm gonna go to the templates and see what we've got. So there are some templates here. I wouldn't recommend starting with a template because you may end up with something that looks almost exactly the same as somebody else's. I would start with something unique, but for the sake of having some terrain very rapidly here as we try to show you how game mechanics work, I'm going to go with a template here. This one looks pretty. I don't think I've opened this one up before. Take a look at this. The Ice Grotto.
Ooh.
And I am still in 0.8.1, but I think everything that I'd be showing you right now has not changed with 0.8.2. Um, okay, yeah, it's got a lot of. Looks like it's got a lot of like visual effects going on here. This is cool. I like this. All right, so um, I should actually take a look at how these are set up. Okay, these are set up for multiplayer. That is good. So let's talk a little bit about the multiplayer versus single player distinctions here. So when you're making a multiplayer game, you want to be using only behaviors and components that are set up for multiplayer. So when you click on the behavior button, by default, it brings up the single player list, and you'll see that it's all of these are grayed out and they say blocked by network policy. Um, to change that, you want to go up to type here, and you want to go with synchronized. So synchronized is for multiplayer, client only is for single player. Um, Technically, you can mix some of these in your game, but it'll cause issues a lot of times. So I would recommend doing only things that are synchronized, because that will give you the most consistent and least buggy experience, especially when you share to the gallery as a social hub. Uh, that will make a big difference. Um, so you will notice that some behaviors are not in the synchronized list at all. We don't have any of the NPCs. We have no predator, no prey, no soldier, no healer, no farmer, no citizen. Um, and that is kind of replaced by doing animated decorations, which is they're not going to walk around, but you can at least select a character or any asset, and tell it which animation you want. So you can select from the list what it's going to be, and you can actually set up multiple things here. So you can add animations and trigger them with different messages and stuff. So if you wanted a character to have a conversation and change it between different like emotions as they're talking, you could do that. You can also make these moving platforms. So we go to synchronized and multiplayer basic platform. You can have characters kind of walk back and forth, do things like that. So that kind of limits you a bit in that there's no combat in multiplayer. Um, so that's why we're focusing on parkour for now, because it's something where you can compete against other players, but there's no need for combat or the rules quests uh, that you can do here. Let's see. Let's set up a race of some sort. So let's see. Because I've never used this template before, I'm not sure. I'm getting the lay of the land here. So let's say we want to get up to this peak here. I'm gonna put a flag, and this is gonna be our end objective here. And we want to make sure that players can actually get up there, so we'll need some things like ladders or moving platforms. And do you know if Panda, you don't have an admin account, do you? You've got a regular artist account.
I do have a regular artist account. I have a mod account, but I don't have admin.
On your regular account, do you see this owned draft basic exclusive list here? I know that it used to not appear for anybody but staff, but I'm hoping that one of these days basic will show up so people can see what the default sandbox assets are.
Yep, let me load on in. I'm on 0.8.2, so it may take me a moment for loading compared to other people that stayed on the non-bugged one.
I'm sensing some salt.
No, me. Salty. No.
All right, so I took this ladder asset, I added the multiplayer climbable component to it, and I'm just placing a few around so that way people can climb.
Oh, apparently it needs to validate some files. There we go. So let me just hop into my tester. Load. Come on. Edit project. Thank you. Right. So you wanted me to see what now?
When you open the library panel,
Yeah.
do you see on the left side where it says blocks, entity, equipment? Above that, does it say owned draft basic exclusive?
That's been there for a while.
Okay. Well, it
Or,
didn't. It
or at least maybe it showed for mod accounts as well.
yeah, you want to log in on a regular account,
So not my moderation account, but that's
not
not
a
the same.
moderation account.
But that's not the same as admin, is it? Okay, let's sign out of this and try again.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
But while we wait, fill out that Wizzy form. I'm just kind of hoping because I had it say remember me. Oh no, see, remember me just doesn't seem to want to work at the minute. It's like, nah, I ain't auto signing you in, which is helpful in this case. Oh, that's not the at sign. Okay. Oh, I haven't created a single game on this. Create new. Favorite color of PandaPops equals yes. Oh, is that like to do with my hair or just like I just say yes? Favorite color, yes. I like them all.
All right. I was able to successfully make it all the way up to the flag. Now, what can make a parkour game much more interesting, especially in a multiplayer sense, is having multiple paths to get to the end. So if you're, oh, there's already a bunch of ladders stuff over here.
I have owned and draft.
I didn't need to make any of that. There's already a little parkour section right here. Oh well. Um, you have owned and draft. No basic.
No basic.
Okay.
Just owned and draft.
All right. Well, I'm gonna see if they can add that. It's not gonna happen for 0.8.2, obviously, but yeah, basic is just the list of the Sandbox, like TSB Gaming, and Sandbox Game account assets, which are free for everybody to use. You can still find those assets in your library that they are there. You just have to click on them and check the name to make sure. And I don't like the way I
And
can
not
jump over.
Jackie Chan is saying that they tried to open a
Ooh.
social hub gallery.
Ooh.
It keeps saying
Ooh.
server instance full. Oh, you're just climbing all over the place. Look at you. Look at you go. You're climbing the world. You broke it. You broke it.
I did. I wasn't even trying to do that. I'm not sure what I did. How far will I go? Oh, well, I hit the edge, and I'm gonna keep going up. Apparently.
Oh, there you go. You're gonna hit the ceiling and bonk your head.
Maybe.
But yes, not Jackie Chan on YouTube says they tried to open a social hub in gallery, keep saying server instance full. They then tried to test it in single player and it worked, but it won't in the form of a social hub. So I don't know whether anybody else has got that issue, or if it's subject only to not Jackie Chan. Is it because you're not Jackie Chan?
If you were actually Jackie Chan, it would definitely work.
Yeah.
I seem to still be going up. I'm not sure how high up I am now at this point.
You look too high up.
Well, it just keeps on going higher. You can, if you look at the, if you line yourself up.
Are you actually? No, it doesn't look like you're going any higher. It looks like you're just.
Well, now I'm not.
falling in the
It
same
just
spot.
now
Yeah.
stopped.
Oh, there you go. So you did reach there. This is the parkour
Oh
you're
wait,
looking
no.
for. Exactly.
Now I'm going backwards. Look. See how far away I am? The ladder's down over here. I am now traveling. I've hit the ceiling and now I'm sliding along the top of the ceiling. I think this is just gonna. It's gonna put me in the corner. I'm gonna go in timeout for the corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say you need a timeout. Right, I'm closing that Wizzy sheet up. So no more responses, people.
I just want to see what happens when I hit the corner.
And how are we doing this? Because what if I accidentally reveal someone who's already won one before?
Oh, put who you roll in the chat. Let me know
And
when you
you'll
do that,
check.
and I can check it. Yeah.
Okay. What platform did they watch on? Someone said Netflix, and I appreciate that.
What
Oh,
was the
it's
question?
because
Oh, their platform.
yeah. No, I just realized why people were saying about my colors because I didn't change the question from last time. I was just like, this font will do,
Okay.
and it is like what Panda's favorite color is green. What is Panda's favorite color? And one of the possible answers was in fact yes. Now I understand what they were on about.
Yes.
Now it makes sense.
Don't look down. I'm already sort of looking down. I can look down more. I'm almost in the corner. I want to know what happens. I stop. I stopped. I've been holding the W key this entire time. And I am now frozen in space. And what happens if I crawl down? Oh, I can't crawl down. Oh. Oh no! I can't move at all.
Are you stuck?
I'm stuck.
Oh.
This is my life now. I'm hitting jump, I'm hitting X, I'm hitting oh. If I hit Z, Z is sit, right? Or is that walk now? I don't remember. X is sit. What is Z?
Z is sheath, isn't it?
Oh, that's what I'm trying to do, the sheath animation.
He's like, I gotta move, I gotta hold on. Hold it up, stay alive.
All right. So I'm not. That's a new bug. I'm gonna have to clip that and send that to somebody. Maybe did it happen here? Was it? I probably won't be able to do it again. I'll have to look at like what exactly happened at that moment. So back to the parkour tutorial. And when do you get that animation? Oh, you can do the sheath right now. You press Z and it put your sword away. And then you still run around looking like you're holding the sword. For some reason, I think we're kind of like locked in the combat pose. We didn't used to be. That's a new issue that I'll have to bring up. Anyway, so some things that you want to change. For global parameters, you're gonna want to leave the player avatar on, I think. Unless there's some really unique aspect to your parkour game, I would leave it as the player avatar because these are going to be social hubs. People are going to come with their own avatar. And it's going to be more fun to have people competing against each other looking the way that they want to look than having everybody be the same and not being able to tell the difference between people except reading their usernames. Select equipment. You want to turn this off. Turn off that sword. Because again, people are coming into the social hub and they can select equipment that they want, but there's no combat. You don't need to have them doing any sort of fighting. I can do hacking and slashing right now because this is in single player mode in the game editor. This isn't a live social experience. But when you share for the judges, we're going to be playing against each other in your social hub. So we could put on any equipment that's from our account if we want. We can open it up and get all dressed up. But we do not. Oh, that looks really cool. This sword just started working again. I was able to get a hold of somebody who fixed the metadata because for a long time this was one of the first swords ever minted. One of two.
So Little Legion, yes, it does have to be multiplayer, and I am quite tempted to make sure that actually is specified in the entry guidelines, because usually we use a normal template for entry requirements, entry guidelines, whereas this one's very, very specific that it is a multiplayer parkour, and I understand it's in the title, multiplayer parkour, suggests that you need to make it multiplayer. So it does have to be multiplayer.
Yes.
So I am once again thinking that it may be best that we make sure that is super clear, written almost everywhere. But yes, multiplayer. I also think it would be kind of cool that if in the council we're all racing against each other, that we
That's my
take
intent.
well, yeah, I
Yeah.
think I put in the work thing. Like, I think this will be a good idea as well for us to do that. But I think it will be fun if we take a group picture on one of them. Like, look at us racing your game.
Why does this sword not work in online experiences where it is possible to wear your own equipment? So I wasn't trying to say that the sword didn't. You could put equipment on the players. I'm just saying that because these are all social hubs, there is no combat. Um, you can just let the players pick their own equipment. But I mean, you could, let's say you wanted to do a mountain climbing experience and you wanted to give them like ice climbing ice picks, then you could make left hand and right hand equipment for that, and then all the players have ice picks for mountain climbing. They would be able to change their equipment from their inventory, but you know, you can do whatever you want with that. I was just suggesting turning off the default sword, because it's mostly going to be players running and jumping around, and then you know whatever they want to do for equipment. Um, all right, so we've got a little ladder thing going on here, but we need the actual gameplay mechanic because that's part of the rules, right? We need to have something that the players interact with, some sort of game logic that makes this more than just a place to jump around on. It's got to be an actual game. So if we take a look at where do we start? Where's our spawn point? Oh, there it is. We want to put another flag. That's going to be our starting point here. And you can do whatever you want for objects and for logic, but this is just some basic explanations. And we're also going to want to put down a logic item. So we're going to put down a logic asset, and this is going to start our crowd event. And let's see. Actually, in 0.8.2, you actually have a new feature, which I don't have in 0.8.1 here, which will also be interesting, is you now have I don't know what they're called. Are they just volumes or is it like sensor volumes? Basically, instead of having to use a speaker component to sense the proximity of a player, you could actually have a whole volume of an area, where when a player enters that, it will trigger whatever message you have set up in there. So maybe we can't show that on Saturday because we've got plans for Saturday, but maybe Wednesday next week. We'll see.
Oh, and for the people who weren't here at the start, what are the plans for Saturday? Who's being here?
So Lucas will be back on Saturday, and he's bringing along with him some of the team from VoxEdit, as well as John Heder, who is, you may know as Napoleon Dynamite, who is the creative mind behind VoxEdit's game that is launching tomorrow, Tygonia. So we're going to be interviewing him, playing Tygonia on stream, and talking to the creators about how they built the world that you'll be playing. All right, so components, synchronized. Oh, I'm sorry, not components, it's a behavior. Behavior, synchronized. So we've got our
We've got our do-do-do's. Gosh, I love having my do-do-do's.
Crowd event, here it is. So this is the crowd event. Display title, we'll set that to true. Start the race. Or we'll just call it race. Or hardcore parkour.
Yes.
Parkour.
Parkour!
That's what we'll say. Message to start. We'll do start. Event.start is going to be our message here. Goal is going to be 1 point. I'm thinking I'm going to come up with more advanced versions of this, not live on stream, and then come back with with this on Wednesday, because I'm sure people will find out better ways of doing this. I'm kind of doing this on the fly. So we're gonna do 1 point. Auto progression is gonna be off. Reward VFX. We'll do a rainbow trail because that one's always fun. Apply VFX to participants. So this actually, okay, this is going to work the way I want. Reward player that scored at least a point. So we're only going to have one player score the point. We're not going to have it in the range. So this way it's clear who the winner was. And emote point source. Instead of doing emote, we're going to change that source to message. And the instructions are going to be get to the flag, or we'll say interact. Interact with the flag on top of the mountain. Message for that is going to be event end. And it's going to have 1 point with a duration of, we'll say 60 seconds. We'll give players 1 minute to get to the top of this mountain. And this asset is going to be a, oh, we need to remove. So one quirk, and I don't know if this is fixed in 0.8.2, but if it's already selected on a single player behavior and you go to synchronized, it won't let you click these. So you have to set it to none, and then you can go back in and go to synchronized, and then it'll let you select. So we're going to do a button here, and this button is going to send the event.start message. All right, so let's test that, make sure that it works. We interact with the flag, and hardcore parkour starts.
Yeah, go, 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 go.
Our event is start. Well, we could go, but nothing's gonna happen because when we get up there, we haven't set up that logic yet. I just wanted to make sure that that part worked. So now we go to the top here, and we're also gonna change this one to. Actually, we're not going to use a button because I don't think a button's it has a range on it, so I don't think it's actually going to work. But we can make it a message broadcaster. Button and message broadcaster are really kind of the same thing. There's message broadcaster can do more than a button can, but button's kind of like the simplified logic, which lets you just interact with that thing. So. We're going to go to message. Ooh. Oh, there it is. Having a hard time finding it. And this is going to be event end. Okay. Now, when we run the race, do you still have 0.8.1 installed, Panda?
I do not. I have 0.8.2. Okay. Yeah.
We could try. It should still work. Wait, did we Oh, I know what we did wrong. What I did wrong. I'm using the royal we. Panda, you messed this up. We didn't set the range for this event.
So
that's
sorry,
why.
My bad. My bad. That was totally my fault.
Come on, Panda, get it together.
Yeah, I know.
So, because we didn't set the range, when we ran too far away from the event logic, we couldn't see the event going on anymore. So, we go to edit logic, and that now shows us this yellow circle, which is our event radius. So let's see, event range. Here we go. Now you can actually, you don't even have to make this a big range. Like, let's say you made, say, like 100 meters is bigger than a land. Like, that's pretty big. But the height of a land is 128 meters. So with a single event, even though this circle goes out as a sphere, if you had this event start down at the bottom here, it wouldn't reach all the way to the top of the map. And if you have a bigger experience, to say you make it 2x2, this 100-meter range is not going to be enough. So we can actually make it take place over the whole event. So you can say go to edit logic, event target can be the whole experience. All right, then you don't have to worry about the ranges. It's just gonna play for everybody.
I'm gonna make my own parkour, but obviously not enter it for the game thing because I already knew everything beforehand.
All right, so we start hardcore parkour.
Yeah.
And now we got to get to the top of the mountain in less than a minute.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Oh yeah, it's not that far. Oh, I started doing that weird climbing thing. It might if I get distracted.
That ladder. Yeah, it's that ladder.
It was right when I got to the top. I started to slide a little bit. Oh,
I think it's because
maybe
it's not. No, it's because it's not right at the top, like meeting the edge. So it's causing a little slide.
Well, right behind the chat, you can see in the upper left-hand corner that timer's still going. That blue bar is going around that diamond, getting smaller and smaller. And that's our time to accomplish this. We still got.
You still have loads of time.
We got 15 seconds once it rounds that corner there. So we interact with the flag, and it doesn't work because I didn't set it up right. 1 second here. Message broadcaster event end. Oh, you know what I did? I forgot to define how it sends it. So wait before broadcast. It sent the message at the start of the thing. This is where a button is easier, right? A button it sets all this up automatically. With a button, it knows you interact with it, it sends the message. That's it. You know what? I want to try it as a button. I want to see if the button works. And if the button doesn't work, then we can go with the message broadcaster, and it'll be a little more complicated. It's not that complicated. So say event end, and we're not going to worry about the broadcast range because it's not going to reach. We'll see.
Go, super speedy Alex.
I'm also going to set that time to be like 15 seconds instead. Because I made it up in 10.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got...
Okay. Does not work.
Does not work.
All right.
Sad.
So it's okay. It's okay. So instead of using the button, we're going to use the message broadcaster, which is right here. Message to send is event end. I'm sure somebody in the chat was watching me do that and was like, "Oh, he didn't set it to interact." Somebody spotted it. Wait before broadcast. Message required is interact. Now you could set up this end zone however you want. This way it's whoever like touches the flag first, but you could set up a speaker component or one of those sensor volumes in the new version, and say like whoever crosses this threshold first will get it. You could even set this up so that way you have to collect items along the way too, using the curio stuff that we looked at a previous stream. And yes, I see people talking about range in the chat. Yes, I'm not done yet. All. We're going to set the broadcast type to all. It's going to hit everything. Wait before broadcast. Interact. We hit play. And now it should work. As long as I didn't forget anything. I do tend to forget things.
Talking about forgetting things, I did put the person I rolled in your channel. Oh,
Awesome.
You're stuck again.
I was like wobbling. I was having a hard time dismounting.
Away, waddle, till the
Great!
Wow!
Here we go. We are the winners.
Oh, look at that rainbow nurse!
Yeah.
Super powered. Whoop, whoop. So beautiful.
So
everybody
now,
will know you're the winner.
Exactly. Everybody in the multiplayer will know that I'm a winner. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna publish this to the gallery, and and see who wins.
Oh, you know I'm loading that bad boy up.
for our easy 15-second race.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna hit save. I'm gonna take a look at who our winner is for Wizzy the Purple's enhanced hat. And now, important. Multiplayer gallery does work, yes. Since version 0.8 came out, we can now share multiplayer to the gallery. So you click the share button, which is this little paper airplane. And we're going to say Parkour MP test. Race against
The machine.
Kamisazi and PandaPops. And then you have to click the social button. If you don't click the social button, it won't be multiplayer, and then it won't be eligible for the game jam. We click share. It says uploading Parkour MP test. What's the? Oh, was there an issue with multiplayer gallery?
Not Jackie Chan said that they weren't able to upload a game to their multiplayer, but were able to its single player. Have you been able to do it?
So it likely is a single player multiplayer conflict. I would have to see, like, if there was an error. Oh no, Panda disappeared.
What?
She's back. She's back. We got her back. Oh no, she disappeared again. It's because of Chrome. It's Chrome doing Chrome things as I try to look up our winner here, make sure that they are a unique winner.
I thought it was me doing me weird things.
No, it's me this time. It's not you, it's me. Okay. Panda, do you want to announce the winner?
Yeah. The winner is a person over on a channel. It is Tomatito. Tomatito, what a great name, has won. And they were over on a channel. I can't remember what channel they were on. They were on YouTube, Tomatito, and they know that my favorite color was green because it was in the question. I also didn't penalize anybody that answered incorrectly just because I found it funny that 3 people answered yes. Because that's funny. So yes, Tomatito, congratulations to you. I am gonna just at you over in here. Winner! You are a winner, my friend. A winner of all winners. So is that social hub loaded? No?
Could not connect to the server. Client version does not match the server version. That means that I need to download 0.8.2.
Oh, there we go. Not Roxy, not Jackie Chan. Were you cheating being in 0.8.1? Naughty, naughty, naughty!
Alright, so I am going to download the latest client and see if that fixes the issue. Bear with me a moment. Sometimes these downloads do make the stream kind of for a little bit.
Should we play some elevator music in the background?
I don't think that will help. I think that
no.
I don't. Well, the thing is, that it might come across a little.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But we're gonna download this. It says it's gonna take 5 seconds, so the stream shouldn't be too bad.
Okay, not Jackie Chan. I am seeing some people. Wow, that was fast. I am seeing people have uploaded social hubs. Like I'm seeing them on my. I've got it open drafts gallery. I'm seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the. Sorry, 5. Yeah, no, that's 6. I can count 6 on the first page.
Fiber. I hope to get fiber. There's not fiber in my area yet. I just have gigabit cable, so I generally get like 800 or 900
What fiber to the
megabits a
house?
second. You mainlined the fiber right into that house.
No, honestly, we have the little box attached to our house.
25 gigabit. See, I don't even know what I would do with 25 gigabit fiber. You would, like, what Call of Duty's like, what, 100 gigabytes? You would download it in 4 seconds? Like, now, granted, just because you can receive that bandwidth doesn't mean that a single server can send you information that fast. So, when you do like a speed test, if you go to speedtest.net, there's actually two settings. You can do a single server, which will tell you how fast you can download from a single source, or multi-server, which will just test your total bandwidth. So my total bandwidth is usually over 900 megabits a second. But if you switch it to a single source, it's downloading a single stream from a single server. That's a lot slower, right? So like you can have 5 people watching Netflix in HD or 4K or whatever, but that doesn't mean that you can download a game in 2 seconds because the server that you're downloading it from might not be able to serve it to you that fast. Weird technical stuff aside, where's the desktop icon for the Game Maker? Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. I didn't click finish on the thing yet. That's why it didn't show up.
Ah,
Ooh,
classic not
that's
finishing.
ooh.
Oh
Ooh,
yeah, the new loading screen it is fancy.
It's flashy.
That's where all that
Nice.
time went into.
New update is just the splash screen. We spent countless hours. We spared no expense.
We needed it to be flashy. More flash.
Did I type it right? Nope. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna republish this to the gallery just to make sure that it's working right. Oh, this is new. Edit project. I can rename. I can duplicate. Okay. This is a game changer, everybody.
I mean, duplicate is really, really handy, especially if you've published a game.
Duplicate is essential. Now you can make your own template. You can make a thing and then iterate on that idea endlessly.
I didn't even think about using it as a template basis.
Yeah, just for yourself. Or you can make a template. So I haven't tested it since Workspaces came out. But you know how you can send an experience to somebody else?
Yeah.
Now you can duplicate your experience and be like, "Hey, you want to buy this template? Like I made this, send me 25 sand and I'll give you this cool parkour map that I made, and then you can decorate it however you want."
Oh yeah, just have like the bare bones.
Yeah.
Just be like, yeah. I love that.
I've envisioned this business model for a while. We just didn't have the tools for it. So
Sam Zeus is saying game changer, no pun intended.
Yeah. No, really. It's having duplicate. So like I said, I haven't tested the send yet, but if you can duplicate an experience made with basic stuff and then send it out to people, I mean, you could if you wanted your community to decorate, make your house, make your bare bones house and be like, redecorate my house. This is a competition. And then send your house out to everybody, and whoever designs your house the coolest.
Do you know, I've got a really good idea that would be kind of like a Game Maker cross VoxEdit contest where we give people a game that we like the duplicated version, and you know, they fill out a form and they have to create unique assets to go into that house and make a game around that house as well.
there's now a multiplayer simulator. So you can switch it to multiplayer mode in the editor.
Yes, that's going to be super helpful for testing.
It has /respawn. This is wild. This is.
I feel like one of my favorite things ever watching you.
I'm gonna hide the. I'm gonna hide the chat for a
when
second.
When you get excited about new features, I think it's one of my favorite things.
So this new interface, you can see your username and your profile icon. It's got the inventory, which I mean we've had the inventory, but you can go to social. You can switch which language region you want to be in: English, Japanese, or Korean. I don't. It says 7 there, probably for the testing aspect. I don't know what exactly this will be up here. I don't know if that's going to be something like maybe it'll show an icon for the game. It'll show. Well, we'll see. We'll see. So, okay, local parkour MP test created by Kamisazi, instance 1. Testing. Can anyone hear me? What is all this? You can change the text size. Like, let me hide me. Nobody wants to see my face here. You can change the text
on
size.
a tiny screen. I now want to put you on the big screen. Sorry, chat. You're going to be ignored for a moment. I've got to see.
Jar Jar Jackie Chan Binks is replying to me from another multiplayer experience.
Oh!
They're not even in. Oh.
That's cool.
Yeah, look at that. And this is while I'm testing my game. I can now interact socially with other players while just testing my game.
Oh, look, people are just finding this out. Look at Happy0101 saying like, "Yay, what?" We are
message fade delay. So that would be when we're in this. When we're in this mode. Now you can set up how long that stays up. This looks so much better too.
You know what? I haven't gone in to play any games, so this, yeah, I do.
So I don't think anything changed significantly enough where I have to reshare this experience. I don't want to kick everybody out of that. Look at that transition too. Like, look how nice that is. That's so pretty.
I actually started the quest and I fell, and now I'm sad because I was winning.
I can select messages. Clicking on them doesn't do anything, so I don't. That may do something in the future. Oh, you can also grab from the middle to scroll. That's cool. Yeah, it's like a touch screen. What else we got here? We got message background. Okay, you can increase the contrast. So that only really works in this mode. There's emoji now. So we've got a Sandbox specific emoji. We're gonna have to get Wizzy in there. And Spoin. Can I do this? No, I don't think so. That doesn't work. If I want to like send some food or something. Yeah, that doesn't work. That's okay. So yeah, we can add emoji to this. I'm so pumped. This is so cool. I didn't even know. I wasn't even thinking, like, I didn't think there was going to be that many changes in 0.8.2, so I wasn't even really going to cover it that much. I was going to maybe do that, like, next week sometime, but, oh, this is so cool. Gameplay opacity, I'm not sure what that changes. Oh, back the opacity of the background during gameplay, I guess. Although it's reversed, it should be. Oh, there's tooltips. I could just read the tooltips instead of guessing what things do. Controls the opacity of text, chat, messages received during the gameplay. I would think that would be transparency, not opacity. Somebody say something.
When? What?
in the chat. Somebody say something. I want to see what it says.
I did. I said hi.
Oh, it is opacity. You can make the text. I thought it was for the background. It's the transparency of the text itself. So you can make it really, really faint if you don't want it distracting from your game. See that? Now it's like faded. So it is opacity. I thought it was going to be the background behind the text, but I actually like that better. So gameplay opacity, message background, close after send, show timestamps. So now I can say, and now it closes as soon as I hit enter instead of it leaving it open.
Oh.
You could leave it open, but if you're doing like a lot of gameplay and you want to be like moving quickly and you don't want to accidentally forget to close the chat and then you send like WASD in the chat, having it close after send is the way to go. Or you can have it not close after sending if you're like spending a lot of time chatting. Zeus is liking all the happy noises I'm making.
Oh, honestly, it's the best.
All right, this is super cool. I like this a lot. This is a great and much needed change. And then there's an instance chat, and it tells you what instance you're in right at the top. That's super duper cool. I love that. So good.
By Verse and Art said, duplicate is very useful, especially to see what is broken in your project. And now we can see the existing project without breaking it. And Ozcom says hello. And
Hello.
Roxy wants to know when voice chat. I'd like to see voice chat, but within like
proximity.
A range. Yeah.
Proximity
because,
chat, yeah.
Yeah, that's the correct word. Thank you. Because I don't like being next to everybody here. That's great, but like I don't want to be the other side of the map and hear Maxi just shouting panda at me or Ice Pilot just being like, "Lick the mic," while I'm halfway across the map. You know.
So now they're gonna have to stream snipe you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of course. All right. Okay, I'm gonna stop messing around in this, and I'm gonna go into the social hub where we'll see other people playing and see how it works. Oh, there it is. The drafts gallery took a second to show up. Falling to victory. Oh, okay, I remember that one. From Google, in digital photography, transparency is the functionality that supports transparent areas in an image or image layer. Certain image formats do not support transparency. Opacity is the extent to which something blocks light. Yeah, so it was, well, everybody's jumping around because they've already won the races. Wait, I've already won the race?
Already won the race. Does it say you already won
it? Just, as soon as I connected, it said completed, and apparently I got a point, except I don't remember getting a point. So maybe I didn't set this up correctly. I don't know. I'm having too much fun to be upset about having not done it correctly. So, along with being able to test multiplayer from in the editor now, as well as just being able to share to the gallery and play test with friends and people in the community ahead of time, you should be able to play test your parkour successfully and make the tweaks needed to make that logic work. I'm going to try to figure it out and share with you all how that works as well. Because obviously I didn't do it right. If it's saying that I got a point, except I didn't participate.
But when I got up to the top, did it just say
you know what?
It again?
I have a suggested fix. Or not a suggested fix. I have an idea. Because the participation is more for like emotes. the participation points are for emotes instead of messages, I think. So when the message is sent, it says, "Oh, everybody participated," except that's not the case. It should just be for the last person.
Oh,
So
this victory pose. I love it. I've never seen my character do a victory pose before.
can you take a screenshot? I haven't seen it. Or is it an emote?
It's an emote. They're like, they thrust their hand forward and then they do like arm pumps.
Congratulate. Cheer. Victory. Oh, victory.
Well, saying that,
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Max is doing a
Nice.
different one from what I'm doing. No, that's the same one I'm doing. Yeah.
If they've got a unique avatar, it might have a different one. All right. So what I'm going to try to change is by having you complete with a dance instead of. No, a dance won't work. Because it won't sense where you are for the dance. Let's see. Edit logic.
Oh, Maxie said, yeah, we all got a point when you finished. Oh, I gave everybody a point.
Yeah.
Everybody's a winner.
Yeah. Message to send, event. See, we don't have any exceptions now. You used to be able to put an exception based on who was present. So you could do a 2-tier. Okay, we're gonna make this more complicated for no good reason. So one way you can make this less complicated, I think, or not less complicated, but like not involve a dance, is to have a single event. That's the thing. I don't know if you can have 2 events run at the same time. We're gonna try it. So what you could do is have it be a curio collection quest. So you put all your curio items along the parkour path, and whoever collects enough of the items and gets to the end would be the winner. If everybody's getting the points, then maybe that wouldn't work. But what we could do, what if we just move the crowd event asset over to the finish line? I'm going to try to keep this simple and not actually change any aspect of how it works. We're going to edit the logic. Message to start. Apply VFX to participants who scored at least 1 point. Source type message. Event end point is 1 point. Duration 60 seconds. So, okay, so participants, I think, is people who are in the range of the event. So, if we say event target is everyone in range, we can move that range to right here. And that means we'll need to change this button because the button has a limited range. Actually, we can just make the broadcast range stupid big. We can make it we can make that 100. Okay, so I think we've started the event, although we won't see it till we get there. And we'll see if the event. There we go. So we get up here. Now we should see the event. Yep. Interact with the flag. And we won. So that may or may. I don't like that you can't see the interface with the timer for that. But that's one possible solution. Let's go ahead and test that. So we're going to share this experience as is. Um, not hardcore parkour. What did we call this? Parkour multiplayer test 2. Social and WASD. We're not going to go real complicated with the description here.
I have a funny thing that's just happened. I've opened up my inventory in your social hub, and I've got this weird dude as apparently who I'm playing as, which is not my character. I'm gonna send you it in a picture.
Okay. So Actor Snow Leopard has a mix of inconsistent network policies. So this is what Not Jackie Chan was experiencing. So we hit close. Issues with server instances full. I have seen that issue reported. It might be that we're not instancing on the social hub. I'm not sure.
There are instances on social hubs.
Well, I know that there were, but now people are getting full instance errors, so maybe it's not properly instancing anymore. Because instead of getting an instance error like that the server is full, it should just make a new instance.
Oh, you mean like okay, so that it's not making a new instance?
That might be what's happening. Okay, this guy has a health component. That would be the issue there. Okay, now we're gonna try sharing. Parkour NP test 2 WASD share. The Flidisfimadifer hub. Yes, I Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is I think a top tier animated movie. I love Pixar, but I am not Pixar exclusive like some people are.
Wait, some people are just
Some people consider that any 3D animated movie not made by Pixar is automatically trash. There are a lot of people who think that way, yeah.
Oh.
And they're not right. They're not right. I am totally comfortable in saying that they have an incorrect opinion.
To be honest, I don't think I've watched that much 3D animation. 2D, yes. Not so much 3D. I do like my my Ghibli
look at this
film,
thumbnail. Look, this is gorgeous. Look at this thumbnail. King of Crypto. Or what? It says KOC Warrior. I'm not. Is that the same King of Crypto that we know?
I don't know.
Ghibli Forever. Well, Ghibli only has one 3D movie, which was okay, although it ended like really abruptly.
Which one was that? That's
Earwig and the Witch or something like that.
I've not seen that one. I really like
it was cute.
Spirited Away.
Oh, I love Spirited Away. Yeah, I mean I like Studio Ghibli, but they did do one 3D animated movie and it was cute and weird. I wasn't sure I was gonna like the animation style, but I think it grew on me because it was very Ghibli looking, but in 3D, which was kind of a weird combination. Okay. All right. Is anybody else in here? It says that I am the only player. All right. If you're still in that hub, you got to disconnect and rejoin.
Okay.
I'm not going to start this event until there's other people in here.
Hear that, people? We got to disconnect. Ah, there we go. It's updated on my end. Test 2.
You could type in /join 150988.
Ooh.
I have not watched the Mario movie yet. I have heard that it's awesome. I'm going to be taking my girls to that pretty soon. I like the older Mario movie. The one that nobody likes. Here's people. Yay. Were you able to use the /join? Did anybody do that? All right. I've started the parkour event.
It did not start for the rest of us.
Well, it doesn't show up for me either.
Ah.
Because we're out of range of the event.
Oh. So We have to run to it. Alex is cheating, everyone. You saw it.
Well, I'm trying to figure out if it still does the thing where we all get the rainbow. Ha ha! I am the only winner.
Yes, you are. But I get to see like flashes of your rainbow.
Is it
It's really
kind of buggy?
I just don't think you really get to see other people's rainbow.
I mean, you definitely have in other versions. Like I've seen other people's rainbows before.
Damn it! I pressed it and now I'm racing to get it, and Cosmo Grog realized what I was doing.
Oh, I see what you mean. SSK Wolf's is like very faint, not showing up all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't. The SSK Wolf got it when you started it, so you ran up and it was already done, I think.
Somebody down there press the button. I want my rainbow. Oh, there we go. Haha. Oh wait, no, it started. I didn't get to press it. SSK, did you press it? Oh, there we go. Oh.
So okay, I've got a game idea for people, and this is one that I really shouldn't say. I should keep this to myself. But the problem is that I have too many ideas and I don't have enough time to make them all. And I want to give this to you instead of hoarding this idea for me for later when I'll probably never have time to actually make it. So listen up.
Listening.
Make a parkour game for this game jam that involves 2-player teams versus each other, because it is impossible to complete the parkour path solo. So think Portal 2 multiplayer.
Yes.
Where player A and player B are versus player 1 and player 2 are versus player 3 and player 4. And player 1 has to press a button that will lift player 2 up to a position where they can press another button that will lift player 1 up to where they can rejoin player 2.
I love it. I love it so much. Make that. Forget when I said make a boring parkour. Make that.
And you could have that be solo, but then it's not really a race, right? It's a collaborative. So then make 2 matching paths where players 1 and 2 go off against players 3 and 4. So you have multiple paths that require multiple people pressing the buttons. So you can have 2 teams or more teams, like, any number. You can make the teams as big or as small. Just keep in mind, the more players that need to be able to play this, the less likely you're going to join with enough players to do it, right? But I think if your game is fun enough and you start sharing it on our Discord and other places, there will be more people interested in playing that game and get more eyeballs on it. So do versus multiplayer or collaborative multiplayer with versus elements. I want it. And I really think that's less complicated than what we did just here, right? All you're doing is saying like platform moves when you press a button. But put the button up where player 2 is going to be too far away to press it, right? Like the button and the elevator are far separated from each other. Are you bowing?
Yes, I am.
When is season 4? It'll never be announced on here before it's announced on Twitter.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it on Twitter, then you're not going to hear it here.
But soon TM.
Soon TM.
Before season 5.
unless we pull a Windows and go like there was no Windows 9. Went straight from 8 to 10.
I mean, they did Windows 95 to Windows 98, so they skipped a couple of years between that as well.
Yeah. They started on they went what was it, Windows 3.0. Yeah. Was there even a Windows 1?
I don't Windows.
Well, there was DOS.
I feel like this is a Google time.
I don't remember there being a Windows 1. I remember using DOS and I remember using Windows 3.1. I feel like it was probably like a developmental version. So this is like Windows 3, Windows 95. So they skipped, 90, 92 or not
Uh,
91 Windows in between then, and then they went back to
yeah, so the first Windows was DOS.
but it wasn't. That was the first Microsoft
Oh.
first Microsoft operating system, but it predates Windows.
I'm just
Because
looking up
Windows
at
had
that history.
it's called Windows because of the Windows, right? And DOS was just text.
Windows version history. I think that's what I can Google. And apparently I don't know how to spell history. I spell history. So there was there was a Windows 1.01 released in 1985, Windows 1.02 in 86, Windows 1.03. It goes on Windows 2 in 87. Then there's variations of Windows 2, Windows 3 in 1990.
I think Windows 3 is really when it took off. I feel
then,
I've never heard somebody say Windows 1 or Windows 2 ever before this conversation. So I'm pretty sure it was not as well known. But Windows Vista was okay. So if there was Windows 3, 95 would have been Windows 4, 98 would have been Windows 5.
No,
XP would have been Windows 6. Oh, so that mean Windows Vista would have been 7, but then there was Windows 7 after Windows Vista. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't the internal version numbers are different from the public name, I think.
Yeah, so they had Windows 3 and then they had Windows NT.
Yeah.
And then they had Windows 95, Windows NT 4, Windows 98, Windows 98 Second Edition, which was released in 99. Windows
These names
2000.
are worse than Final Fantasy names, like
Windows
7 Rebirth or whatever. Like
numerous versions of Windows 10.
Windows XP, the world is not enough. Redux. Like...
The fun question is, what Windows version was your first Windows version ever playing on? Mine was 95.
3.1 if you're counting it as Windows, but I did use DOS at one point.
No,
before I could read, which made it really hard. Basically, I wasn't using DOS. My dad would launch the Sesame Street game that I had, or Paint.
Who remembers going to a special corporate training to learn how to use the new special Windows on a computer? Not me, I'm not that old, but I do remember that my granddad taught himself how to do a bunch of stuff with computers when they first started going out, and he would be the people in our town would call, and he would basically set up all their PCs.
He was the tech guru.
Yeah, pretty much.
The village tech guru.
Yeah.
I am self-taught on computers for everything. So, I've looked stuff up online. But before that, I was just experimenting like, what's in this folder? Oh, System 32, what's in here?
Do you know what I didn't realize was like a real thing, and I thought my partner was just joking about it when he said it? Like Google Wizard or something. Like, I can't remember what it was, but
the search wizard, the animated search wizard on Windows XP.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like for when he goes for coding jobs, some of them literally state the requirement of like being a Google wizard, and I thought that's a joke, that can't be real. But he's like, no, it's a real thing.
That's an actual requirement, like a certification. You can be a Google wizard.
To be able to search things on Google and to basically teach yourself how to fix something, you need to be good at Googling. For code stuff, and and I was like, that can't be a requirement, surely not.
Stack Overflow will give you like a dozen different results. most of which is like, oh, that was answered in this thread over here, or oh, your question's invalid.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then you have to figure out what the right question is.
yeah, he was saying that like you just have to like know how to Google properly, which apparently he's really good at. He's really good at
I'm pretty good at
Googling.
it. Yeah, I'm pretty good at Googling. I don't know if I'm a Google wizard, but I'm usually able to find what I want pretty well. All right. So my other idea for this is to have somebody do a dance that will trigger that message in that specific place. But it would be it would be two separate things. So we've got we would need a second logic up here. Or okay, this one okay, we're going to rename Hardcore Parkour to Victory. And message to start is going to be event end. And it's not going to show any elements. It'll just say interact with the flag, or we'll just say touch the flag. Touch the flag. Message is going to be okay. So what I'm trying to do, I'm setting up When Game Jam. Roxy Miguel, have you been watching this stream the whole time?
I think they're joking. I'm hoping.
Roxy Miguel always comes into my Wednesday stream on my personal channel and goes like, "Is it Friday yet?" um okay. So, we're going to have two events. We're going to have one event that everybody can see, which is the race timer. And then we're going to have an event that is right around the flag, which is going to be the thing that actually triggers the rainbow trail. So I've got that donut. We're going to need another donut over here. Logic asset. So first thing that needs to happen is you interact with the flag to start the event. It could be a small range because it's just right here. Okay. The behavior. Synchronized. Oh, it looks like. Oh, maybe because it's a logic donut. But synchronized came up first when I open it, so maybe it's remembering which tab you're on, which is nice. Or you can do all. That's new.
Oh yeah, that's handy.
So synchronized. Oh, instance lock. Which messages are required to lock this instance? What is that? Instance locker. What does it do?
No.
I don't know what that does. Oh, I think that keeps people from joining. If your event has started, it won't let people join your instance. It'll force a new instance to start.
Oh, interesting.
There's tooltips. Why do I keep doing this? I keep on like guessing what a thing is based on the name without looking at the tooltip.
There's a
Instance locker.
tooltip?
There's tooltips on everything. You just hover over it. There's little boxes that
Oh,
pop up.
those little pop-ups. Yeah, I pay attention to those.
Where'd it go? Where is it? Can I not select it because I was already selected on it? Instance locker. No, it just says which messages are required to lock this instance. I'm pretty sure that forces a new instance to start once, like, if you have an event start, then you want to lock the instance and then it'll do it. Can you toggle it back off? I'm guessing once it's started, it's locked, and then that's cool though. That's cool. Okay. Are there any other new things in here? I didn't know that was going to be a thing. NFT details indicator, multiplayer drop, multiplayer collectible, multiplayer climbable, multiplayer pickable, sound, rarity, VFX, multiplayer slide, speaker, toggle. I feel like there was a maybe it's in client only. No, I don't see it there either. Isn't there a thing that lets you sense players in a certain area, or is that a specific?
Isn't that? I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I am not the right person to ask. Chat, chat.
Has anybody seen this yet? Because this was the thing that I thought was supposed to become in this version, and I wasn't expecting the locker to come. If we do speaker, detect entity. Here we go. Here we go. Detection type. Look at all this new stuff on speaker above Panda's head here. Detection type. Everyone in range. Every avatar in range. Specific tags in range. Selected actors in range. Detection shape can be a sphere or a box. Ooh, look at that. Now you can effectively block a door or a hallway with a sensor.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
So now you can say, and it's a 1 meter range from the center. So it's the smallest you can do is a 3 meter block like this. So if you made like a super narrow hallway with like blocks, like a block, a gap, and a block, that's 3 meters. That would be the smallest area that you could do. Sweet. Okay. So that's where that is. I was just I knew that was supposed to be added, but I wasn't. I thought it was a separate behavior or a separate component, but it's in the speaker component. Okay. So anyway, what were we doing? We were doing an event to start the race, like the main race event. So we're gonna do crowd event. The entire experience is the event target. And message to start is event start, which is what the flag sends. Sends event start to this. Total points goal is still going to be 1. Auto progression, false. Reward VFX. We'll do a different trail. Maybe it'll work better than the rainbow. We're gonna do Galaxy Trail. Apply VFX to participants. Oh wait, no, we don't want a VFX for this one. We don't want participants of this event because this event applies to everybody in the experience, and that's the problem we were having before is that everybody got the trail, not just the winner. So there's no VFX for this. We are going to have instructions, reach touch the flag on top of the mountain. Message is going to be what completes it, and interacting with the flag is going to be what ends it. So that will end this event. Event end. It's going to give 1 point, and we're going to give 30 seconds as our duration. So it's a little faster. Okay. Edit logic. We want to make sure, okay, we already have it on experience. I think that's everything there. Okay. So now when we play this, we should still get that touch the flag on top of the mountain. It didn't give us the special little shiny stuff. Touch the flag on top of the mountain. Experience, event start, auto progression, UE style default. Huh. Oh, display title. I didn't check on display title. Okay. And that's where we said hardcore, parkour. That's what we were missing.
Hardcore.
Now it'll do the big shiny woohoo. And then we got to get to the top of the mountain before the timer runs out. Okay. So that's our first part. Event start is the message that that triggers this, and actually we're gonna change the multiplayer button to a message broadcaster. It is more complicated, but we want this event start to also enable the flag to at the top to be touched, because we don't want somebody going up there and getting the trail before this event starts. So message to send is going to be event start. We're going to edit the logic. It's going to broadcast to all. Wait before broadcast. And interact is going to be our message. Okay, so that starts the event. We could prevent somebody from starting the event by having a lock on this as well. So we can put a toggle, and it will turn off when event start happens. And initial state is true. So now when we interact with it, it will start, but we shouldn't be able to keep on interacting with this. I don't know if it would let us anyway. Let's what happens if we remove that toggle? We're gonna give it a try here, because it might keep on restarting the event if we keep on interacting with it. Oh, well, it doesn't seem to do that anyway. So that's good, I guess. My main concern is that if somebody keeps on interacting with this, it's going to mess up the event toggle that we have up here. Oh, but we can just put a wait duration on it. So yeah, message broadcaster, duration type, duration, delay between broadcasting. We set it up to be 30 seconds for the event. So we say this is 32 seconds. They have to wait 2 seconds till after. See you later, not Jackie Chan. Thanks for hanging out. Good luck with getting your multiplayer stuff to work. All right.
Night, Jackie Chan.
Duration. 32 seconds. Okay. That should go. Okay. That works. And then we're going to have our flag up here. So now we have an event that's very localized. We don't have to display a title. Message to start is event start. So that should activate this as well. But it's very localized to this area, so it's not going to display over the other events. You keep getting instances.
Yeah, I was just about to read that out. Not Jackie Chan had the same issue, so I'm not too sure why, because I feel like not enough people are going to be in an instance to say that.
It's an issue that multiple people have been having. I saw it reported earlier today. The staff is working on it.
Oh, is it for in actual games? Not in Game Maker, but in the actual game client itself?
That I'm not sure on. I know that it's I've heard people saying basically that exact statement in the staff chats earlier today. Whether it was on multiplayer or single player, I'm not sure. All right, so message to send event dot end. That's not what we want. So event dot victory is going to be what happens when we interact with the flag. And broadcast type. To all duration type once. Wait for broadcast. Interact. I think that one can be done whenever. Before it's too late, we are on a talk show and podcast. Jazz Wolf, or was it Jazz Wolf who said it at the beginning of the show? I told it that we're playing the Sandbox game. So Twitch is lying.
Twitch always does that, but it's fine because I can change that right
It
now.
It doesn't always do that for me. It's just when so like we get this little thing where you can update the info, and I always type in the Sandbox like that. I do it every single time, and it almost always works correctly. And today it did not.
Okay, updated. We're now on the correct thing.
So I don't manually check Twitch before we go live, or I'd only be able to see it after we went live anyway. Like you set that before going live, so I have no way of seeing it until after it happens.
What's worrying is that I have Twitch open and I didn't notice that.
Well, 7:20. All right. Message to send, event.victory, broadcast type all, duration type once, wait before broadcast, interact. So this is going to send the victory message to our little event, which only runs once the main event is running. And like I said, I'm not sure if you can run more than one event at a time. So we will see if this even works. It might not. We might need to trigger this with the end of the first event, which I don't really like, but we may not have a choice. We'll see. Total points is 1. The space it's in is just this little area right around the flag. No auto progression. Apply VFX to participants. True. Actually, we're going to say apply in range. So it's just the people right around the flag. So if more than one person gets here at the same time, it probably won't give you a tiebreaker. You'll just have to run the event again. Touch the flag. 60 seconds on that. Message, event victory. And you only have 30 seconds to get this as well because it starts at the same time as the other event. This should do it. Let's see. Hardcore parkour.
Hardcore parkour.
This ladder. This ladder is the bane of my existence. There we go. Oh, well, it gave me a rainbow trail. I forgot to change it from galaxy trail. Okay, so that. Okay, and then we need to end the event. So victory with this event will send the event.end message. So success message event.end. And galaxy trail. And then this one ends with the event.end. All right. So now we trigger the event to start. We go up the ladder. Go up the second ladder. Go up the third ladder. Get it on the first try like a boss. Jump, jump, jump. And completed. So it's giving us this like, yay, completed for the other event. But it should only give the galaxy trail to the participant. Or the person in range of that event. Should. So we'll see. We'll see how this works. Can we simulate this? Preview. There we go. This is how you get the nice screenshots. You got to preview. There we go. All right, now we share it. Multiplayer. What was it? Parkour. Multiplayer test 3. WASD. Social. Share. All right. We're going to see if this triggers the victory correctly. Now, crowd events are really like a collaborative thing. That's the intention. So you can't, as far as I know, you can't really make a crowd event where it says to the person who didn't win the race that they failed. It just says like everybody wins. But at least with this, we can, as long as this works, we're going to test it now. If this works, then only the person who's at the end zone will get that. Actually, I have one more idea. I don't think it will work, but
all of the
okay,
ideas.
let's try this, and then I've got one more idea that we can see if it works, because there's a way that I could make it work that I don't want to do because it would be weird. But there might be another solution too.
Updates so quickly for you. I'm here like just trying to refresh the page.
The multiplayer map or the
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I just needed to go to page 2 and go back.
yeah,
Apparently
it doesn't refresh automatically.
No, I thought going to like my ones and then going back to the drafts would do it, but apparently no, you got to actually switch pages.
Does it not show the actual? It doesn't show the actual published name. It just says parkour here. It doesn't. Here we go. If you go to local, it says the right thing. All right, so let's line up here. Okay.
Hey, come
And
here.
what? Well, we got to start the event.
Yeah, I'm trying to rally
Oh,
Happy.
maybe Happy doesn't want to compete. That's how they stay happy. Panda only stays happy by winning. All right.
Yes.
So, event is started. Okay, everybody saw that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, now we'll know if
Damn it. Yeah. No
Is it just for
special
me?
galaxy. Yeah, no special galaxy tail for me.
Yay!
Oh, you
It worked.
started ahead.
What?
Or
What?
someone else did.
What?
Someone at the bottom started the event again.
Oh.
I'm getting that tail.
Okay, so that's the excuse me? Um Okay, so then it works then. Uh who did you get it?
Yeah,
Did
I got the
did
tail.
anybody else get up there at the same time as you?
No, maybe Happy, but they were probably the closest.
Okay. Yeah, we really only have a 2 meter range there, so like the 2 meter radius. So if you're and this trail seems to work better. I'm getting the full length of it. Somebody was standing up there waiting for it. So
Yeah,
my next idea is a solution to that. Having somebody wait at the end. This galaxy trail is so pretty though. It's just fun to jump around and look at it.
It matches the environment.
That too. Like the rainbow looks cool, but this looks awesome.
I think this is less harsh on the eyes as well. I enjoyed the rainbow, but after a while I was like, this is very bright.
That's what I think of rainbows in general. Like I like real life rainbows, but like cartoon rainbows, I'm like, come on, where's your sense of color theory? Like, three colors and they need to complement each other at most. Four is too much. Like, go back to graphic design school. Nature. Okay.
Okay, little Legion says this has to be made into a tutorial. It's like the most important thing for races.
Well, that's what this video is for, and you can always watch our VODs on YouTube. All of the streams that I've ever done for the Sandbox are still on YouTube. If you go to the live section, you can watch them from like 3 years ago. Obviously, what I said about the Game Maker back then doesn't really apply anymore. Um, a lot has changed in 3 years. All right, so one more thing, and then I have to call the night.
Yeah, it's like 12:30 here for me.
It's an hour and a half past our normal stream end time, which we never hit. And it's also an hour past my daughter's bedtime, and I need to read her a bedtime story. So, when form, Roxy Miguel, no pizza for you. No pizza for you. That's what I say.
I'm just double checking. I'm
How
pretty
dare
sure
you?
Roxy...
Nyan Cat is iconic. I talked to the guy who made Nyan Cat on a semi-regular basis on Twitter. He's really cool. He's done a lot of NFT stuff, and Nyan Cat is also my go-to Halloween costume because I don't like dressing up. Like I don't like doing costumes, and it's too much work, and I'm not that social. But I have made I think 3 different Nyan Cat costumes over the years because I'm like, I'll just go as Nyan Cat. Everybody gets a kick out of it. All right, so the other idea. I don't know if this will work. This might not work. But if we go to global parameters, controller, components, instant death message, and change it to event start. That might cause all players to respawn at the same time.
Sounds fun.
Okay, so it worked in multiplayer, in single player. Let's just try it in multiplayer simulation. It does not kill me in the multiplayer simulation. Now, I don't know how perfect the multiplayer simulation is. It might. I think it just ignores the health component.
Roxy Miguel is saying that potentially just the last one to spawn on the map might be the one to get respawned.
Oh, no, because it should send that message to everybody. It definitely worked on single player, but I think it's like, how else can we do this? And is there a multiplayer void? What if I do logic asset and we'll do behavior synchronized. I don't think there's a synchronized void, is there? There's not a synchronized void. I don't. I was hoping that I could force all players to respawn at the same point. The other solution would be bad, and it would be basically have a moving platform that pushes everybody back to the start. Um, which would
No, you don't move. You move when I say so.
well, I'm no, you could start everybody in a cage, right? Like you could do that. But then after you start, then people can run around all over, and if you start the race again, it doesn't pull them back to the start. Um, I'm trying to think if there's another way you could do that.
Something moving people back to the start, I just think of a 2P machine or coin pusher.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Right.
imagining. Just
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like if you design your level, you could so this wouldn't work here because there's like caves and stuff, and players would get like stuck in the walls and things like that. It wouldn't work. You could design your level with a coin pusher element where like let's say it's a vertical parkour thing. You could have the very start of your event be a pusher, and you've got no like sideways walls. It's all just platforms to jump up. You could have a pusher go across the entire level and force everybody off the platforms where they all fall to the bottom and respawn at the same point at the same. It wouldn't even respawn them at the same time. That's the problem. Well, you could have them respawn inside of a cage or inside of a moving platform and have a timer on that, and then after so many seconds it opens. So so starting the event could force them back to the spawn point and keep them there until it restarts. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other um ways. I don't think there's any other way of resetting the player. At least not yet. There should be though. um,
Note it down for the future. Future stuff. Whole experience made of assets and reset all the assets so all players fall to the floor and respawn.
yeah, although that sounds like it would be laggy though if it has to send to all those things at once. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm just not sure how well it would work. Um, Yeah, really for crowd events, there should be like a move players to point. So like, so actually, that's what I would probably suggest is for a crowd event, have a toggleable option of reset players to tag,
Yeah.
and then if you had a single tag or multiple tags, and then it would just move them to whatever the closest tag was. And then you could even have like multiple start points if you wanted. Um,
I do think I like the visual of a wall just coming out and knocking everyone down low.
it's very like what's that movie called, the Cube?
Yeah. Is it
Just
Cube? Total Wipeout?
it's like the horror movie. It's like Saw, but in a Rubik's cube.
I think I know what you mean. My brain's dying.
It's late for you. I don't blame you.
Hypercube says Sans.
Hypercube, yeah, it was Hypercube. Well, was Hypercube a sequel to Cube, or was it always Hypercube? I don't remember. And it's the kind of like puzzle horror movies like that were never really my thing.
Oh,
Cube, the Montreal version of Saw. Basically, yeah. Yeah. I was never like, those movies didn't interest me as much. I like the supernatural horror more. All right. Respawn to tag, checkpoint, instant death message, event start, invincible's false, death delay. Send to tags. Damaging blocks damage, healing blocks heals, stunnable. Oh, the player can be set to stunnable. Well, I guess that only works if there's multiplayer combat. This is just a regular health component though, so there's aspects to this that don't really apply to players.
There's a new Evil Dead movie that apparently looks good, says Maxie.
Yes, it looks really good. Like, well, it looks horrifying.
Which
Like,
is what you want for your horrors.
yes, I mean, like, yeah, from what I caught from the trailer, it's like the mom is possessed and going after her kids, which is like, ugh.
Oh no, that stuff really freaks me out. I don't like anything to do with like parents and kids, and yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you don't want to watch what I'm playing tonight.
Oh, what are you playing?
I've been playing Visage on Not Fridays. Starts off, you don't want to know how it starts. We're not going to go there. Not on this stream. Anyway,
Oh, I think I've seen someone play that before. And
yeah, we're good. We're good. So I don't see a way to reset the players. So I think you need Wall of Death to reset the players and have their spawn point be inside like a cage that only opens up after a certain timer goes off. That's too much to set up right now, and it wouldn't work with what we've got going on. So resetting the players to the start is a limiting, or it is a more complicated aspect to this. But we can kind of condense this into like a clippable tutorial if you want. So I can't remember who it was said that this should be a tutorial. So this was the whole learning process of how to set this up. But I will go through very quickly, piece by piece, of what we did to set this up. So in order to make our parkour event, we had kind of two criteria. We wanted to be able to start the event for everybody at the same time, and only one person could get to the end and win the Galaxy Trail effect on their character, or whoever's close enough, because it's like a 2-meter diameter area. We can't make it any smaller than that. So what we've got is we've got our message broadcaster, which is starting the event, So it says event start, it broadcasts to all, and it has a delay broadcast of 32 seconds, which means that it's delayed for pressing this flag for the entirety of the event until 2 seconds after. It means that this event cannot be started more than twice a minute. I guess more than once. My math is off. You need to wait 32 seconds between starting this event each time. Wait before broadcast, interact, and that sends event.start, or whatever message you want, to the multiplayer crowd event, displaying the title Hardcore Parkour. Message to start is event.start. It only needs 1 point, and auto progression is off. There's no reward VFX for this because this is simply for the on-screen timer for the race. Instructions: touch the flag on top of the mountain. Needs 1 point, duration of 30 seconds, and message event.end will complete this event with kind of like the victory screen. Once this starts with the event.start message, up here at our endpoint for the race, this logic also starts a crowd event with event.start, needing 1 point, auto progression off. This one does have the reward VFX Trail Galaxy, and it applies it to only people in the range of the event, which you have to edit logic in order to see what that range is. It's a 1 meter radius, 2 meter diameter, and it's right around here. The success message is event.end, which, if you recall, is how we ended this event here. So it completes the 1 point that is needed for this crowd event. But there's no reward for this event. It's just simply so that way all players see the 30-second timer, and it ends when somebody reaches the end here. And then anybody within the small radius around this flag will get the victory galaxy trail on their character. And that's it. That's the whole thing. Oh, well, they have to interact with the message broadcaster, which gives the event.victory, which is the message that this crowd event is looking for. And that's the whole thing. So, pretty simple. Took us a little bit to figure it out. And maybe somebody will figure out a way to reset all the players to the beginning. I think it's doable. It's just a little complicated. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. Thank you, Panda, for filling in for Lucas, who will be back.
No problem.
Lucas will be back on Saturday to join us with interviewing the Voxel Ocean team, Lucas's team, actually, about how they made the Tygonia experience, which releases tomorrow. And we will be interviewing John Heder, aka Napoleon Dynamite, who is the creative mastermind behind the Tygonia brand.
Yeah.
Have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. See you later, Panda. See you later, everybody.